Nice.
Hello, everybody. This is Preston Poulter here with Pocket Jazz Comics. Got another exciting day. Looking at all kinds of scripts without our glasses on, because that's the best way to look at scripts, in my opinion. That way you get some humorous stuff. But fortunately, Skinny's pages are really big, in terms of at least the headers.
Font
I don't think
size?
I'm gonna have any problem reading through Skinny's script here. We got Claude and Wells coming up. But we have Kickstarters today, so I backed Danny's, and
Coffee House
Danny
of Doom.
backed mine, and that was cool. So why don't you tell everybody about Coffee House of Doom?
Sure. So Coffee House of Doom is a three-story horror anthology
Right.
featuring soul-sucking wizards, lust-crazed mermaids, and a maskless Karen.
Mhm.
It's all ages horror for the whole family. It's a really fun follow-up to House of Doom that we kickstarted last year.
Mhm.
It did really well, and we decided, screw it, let's go niche. So we have a ton of fun barista-themed rewards
Okay.
for people who are interested in that sort of thing. And we're working on, I guess, more standard stretch goals like variant covers and things like that. And unlike my last couple of campaigns, it ships very inexpensively to the US because Joseph is dealing with that shit, and he lives in Seattle, and USPS flat rate boxes are our friend.
There you go.
So all of your US viewer should totally go check it out. It's just, fun Gremlins-y type horror stuff for everybody.
And you got something that Kickstarter has almost never given me, which you got a project we love.
Twice in a row.
Yeah. Preston's projects are like, okay, fine.
Well, clearly the answer isn't tits.
White Lily,
coffee.
the story of the two deadliest female fighter pilots who ever lived, at 160 beautiful full-color pages. Kickstarter's like,
I mean, you did fine without them, buddy.
Yeah, I know. But,
so, we could do with the extra boost. I think you're doing all right. And I backed yours. I'm really excited to see the Guinevere project, and and especially just to get it in print as well.
Mm-hmm.
So that'll be really fun. I get to actually check out your product quality finally.
There we go. Hello, Mr. Higgins. We were discussing that you had a hot take on Twitter, or at least what seemed to be a hot take regarding the resale value of your comic books. I understand that you don't want to sell to this. Mr. Higgins has a campaign going on right now, I believe, on Indiegogo, right?
I think so. Yeah. It's the relaunch of Birthright number 2 because he did it on Kickstarter and now he's doing it on Indiegogo. So.
Okay, fantastic. Yeah. So you're encouraged to go look at that. But I hear rumor is some customer was like, "Hey, can I give you some extra dough for my Indiegogo tier, and you throw in some extra copies so I can sell them on eBay?" And apparently your answer was no. And I was like, "No, that's unusual. Why would someone say no?" But
maybe he's not in the business of selling comics.
I don't know. But anyway, we were discussing that. That's a pretty radical stance, because my answer would always be, "How many would you like?" But that's stuff. But Niobe Birthright is on Indiegogo, and we got Coffee House of Doom and Guinevere 4, and look at that. We're all doing well, I think.
So if you're not sure what to do and you're watching, make more comics.
Yes. Hold on. Let's see. Why should a customer buy from eBay and charge an extra few bucks and rip off? Okay. So, all right.
Okay.
Very well. So you're driving a hard bargain. Driving a hard bargain now.
I would just, say maybe you should list your books on eBay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, all right.
I mean, if I made a book and someone was if someone was trying to sell it for $80, I just grab an extra copy, try and sell it for $70, and that's way better than the $5 that it's worth.
Right. I mean, to a certain extent, not to a certain extent, I'm very much reminded of Rags, because God, I want to say this was 2018 this was early 2019. Rags had a Patreon model. you want the Rags comic, you had to go to Patreon. They also had distribution through Antarctic for the local comic store, but I don't think that had happened yet, or at least it wasn't.
It was pretty close, though.
Yeah, it was pretty close.
Yeah.
But some people, all right, so the way Rags did it was if you were a backer, then you got a link to a print-on-demand file, and you could just, pay the print-on-demand fee and order up as many as you wanted. And, look, Rags is a pretty cool comic. I mean, look, all right, Danny, look, this is a very easy question. What does The Walking Dead need more of?
More of?
More of. Definitely more of.
Color?
Tits.
Tits.
Tits. Oh, right. Sorry. Preston, that's an easy question.
Answer is always tits.
Preston's answer is always tits.
Well, that was also Rag's answer, because you get Rags. I mean, she's going through a zombie apocalypse largely naked.
Well, yeah, of course you want tits in a book like that.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, it was in demand, or at least I want to be careful in my phrasing. People were intrigued by the concept and the artwork. And so some enterprising individuals who are Patreon backers just said, oh, I have a print-on-demand link. Okay, I'll buy 6, because, you got a discount if you bought them like 6 at a time. I'll buy 6 books, and I'll just sell them on eBay. And somebody because basically this guy had kind of a market or a lock on the eBay market, because nobody was selling Rags on eBay. He was selling them for a pretty hefty profit. And the Rags guy freaked out. He's like, I'm going to find that guy and I'm going to kick him off my Patreon and all kinds of stuff. I'm like, look, if you get discouraged about somebody making money off your book on eBay, one,
why aren't you just selling your book on eBay?
Well, yeah. So the easy answer is, why don't you just sell your book on eBay? And then you eliminate that entire problem.
Also, why be pissed off that you've clearly made a desirable book?
Yeah.
Right.
So you could sell your book for $20 like you want to, then go sell it for $20 on eBay, and you eliminate the $100 guy, right? So
right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You completely undercut him and cut him off, because now you're doing it at the price that you think is fair.
Or as Christopher's saying it, or just partner with that guy and make him your distributor.
Exactly, yeah. No, but seriously, though.
That reminds me of a joke that, I've developed an appreciation for now that I am a comic book creator, but it was the joke originally was about musicians, because they'll go record with their band and, they'll press, like 1,000 CDs or something, trying to sell them on street corners now, their trunk and stuff. And the joke was that a burglar stole a musician's, box of self-pressed CDs out of his garage. And the musician responded by putting out a want ad, wanted the burglar. I'm not offended. I just want to know how you got rid of him. So, So, if people want to buy it, it's good. I don't know. And look, I have the other approach. I have I'm going to limit my quantities. That way my backers kind of get to be in that position. They're one of 150 people that have, the Paolo Werebear cover, for instance.
And whatever you don't
sell, I think the limited runs on variant covers is a smart approach, because you can use your main one and print as many as you want. Who gives a crap? But then when you get those variants, you do them as a limited run, and it creates the perception of value. And if there is interest
value
in the book
in a market is where supply meets demand, and you've greatly limited supply of that one particular style of good, so that should lend itself to a higher price point. And then someone vanished.
If I'm not mistaken, doesn't Doug Naple basically encourage people to sell his books on eBay and make money off of them?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So. And the other thing is
if people are going to buy it, let them buy it.
And the other thing, go back to Larry's comment here. It's why should I allow my customer to make money off of my hard work? I'm like, that is the nature of comic book speculation. Yeah.
You've already made money off your hard work if you're any good at pricing. If you're so shit at pricing that you're pissed off about someone making a few dollars, or trying to get an exorbitant fee off eBay, it's eBay. Someone's going to get lucky sometime.
Right.
Then maybe you should suck less as a creator and just be happy that you got a second reader out of that one copy that you printed.
Right.
Should they still sell like the first issue of Spider-Man for 12 cents, or that's kind of the same
all
argument,
I'm going to say
right?
is the wonderful thing about capitalism is you are in control, and if you want to approach this that way, then you are allowed to. I just feel it's self-defeating, and I would encourage you to rethink. That's all I really want to say. Yeah. But fair enough. Look, I understand, sir. I understand. So, all right. Back whenever you're for on Kickstarter. Let's take a look at Skinny's script here. All right, are we going to be starting at page 1 or?
Are we starting page 1?
Oh no, 11.
Page 11. Okay.
Okay.
See how convenient it is that you see how big the pages are.
Yes, the page is
massive.
You can just scroll through really quick. I think you just.
This is important.
No,
that's page 10. That's an important page 10.
There we go.
11. Here we go. Okay, this is your story. Assign the parts.
Let's see. I like John as Claude, and Danny, you did Wells last time, so we'll just stick with that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So who's the narrator?
Larry, you can narrate.
Okay, that works. Okay, is that all the parts we get? Or okay, great. Page 11. Here we go. Panel 1. Shot of Claude's cell door from down the hall, about 20 feet away. Claude is still screaming for help at his door.
Please, somebody help me!
Panel 2. Still looking at Claude's door. We are now closer at 10 feet away. Claude continues his pleas for aid.
I don't know who I am or why I'm here.
Panel 3. The six-fingered hand of Wells shoves a key in the lock, and his other hand grabs the door handle and opens it with an audible click. Claude still pleads to Wells.
Oh, thank God you've come. I hurt everywhere. I don't know who or where I am. Can you please help me?
Panel 4. Bust shot of Wells at the cell door Bust shot of Wells as the cell door swings open. A visible frustration poured over his face.
Every day now for 9 months. It's not even supposed to affect you, and there's no sign you'll ever build a resistance to it. That's why I left the damn mirror in your room.
Panel 5. From Wells' point of view, Claude starts crying uncontrollably. He is broken, but his lips gone, and he still shows a vicious grin.
What are you saying? None of this makes any sense. Just please tell me what's happening.
Panel 6. Wells in the doorway motions to Claude to get up and follow him.
Come with me. Your name is Claude. You are a patient here at Rains County Asylum.
Panel 7. Shot of Wells extending his hand towards Claude to help him up off the ground.
Coming from a childhood of neglect, you craved attention. So much so that you researched hundreds of cold case files, found a link, and confessed to them all.
Panel 8. Wells and Claude walk down the hall, their backs facing the reader.
The rest can be explained in my lab. Considering your condition, I opted to document it with some photos. I'll put on some popcorn for us. Sorry, I'll put on some popcorn for us.
Page 12, panel 1. Wells opens the door to his lab monitoring for motioning to Cloud to go inside. Sorry. Inside, we see a slide projector behind the two folding chairs placed in the front of an old rolling screen projector screen. There's a table next to the right chair. Wells has many instruments in there, including a small tape recorder.
Just have a seat and get comfy, but everything will make much more sense afterwards.
Panel 2. Claude sits in the rightmost chair. Wells walks between a small space between Claude's chair and the table, picking up the tape recorder.
I'm having trouble in following you. How exactly is this supposed to help me understand anything?
Hold that thought.
Panel 3. We see a close shot of Wells pressing the record button on the tape recorder. Behind and slightly out of focus, we see Claude and his eyes focused on the recorder.
Day 283. Patient still exhibits the same reaction to the treatment. He is in his right mind, but has no memory of anything involving who or where he is. Today, I'm showing him documented footage of his time here, hoping it'll break the cycle. If not, the experiment will be terminated and we're back to square one.
Panel 4, Wells sets the recorder down on the table while moving towards the chair to the left of Claude.
All right, Claude, I have no idea if this will elicit a reaction to bring your memory back. I'll be here to answer any questions about what you see. Would you like a drink? I've got bourbon.
Panel 5, Claude responds as Wells continues to walk past his chair towards a counter with his favorite decanter, glasses, and crazy straws. Claude, gazing intently at Wells, reaches his right hand behind him, grasping for the tape recorder.
That'd be lovely. I really hope this works as you say, especially since you said I've been like this for nearly a year. But show me while on the projector screen. Is your computer broken?
Page 13, panel 1. Wells pours 2 glasses of bourbon. He looks almost bored.
Reflection, Claude. Any time you see your own eyes, you lose all memory of who you are. It sounds strange because it is strange, Claude. But hey, it's not as bad as everyone else.
Panel 2. 2 crazy straws are thrown in the glasses. We see Wells reflected back in the ripples in the bourbon.
This may come as a shock, but anyone who sees any part of you loses all memory of you once you're out of their sight. It's very useful for espionage, but the whole bit of it working on you too kind of fucks the whole thing up.
Panel 3. Claude puts something in his pants while Wells is preoccupied.
I can see why, but I'm having trouble understanding how I could do that. I'm not sure I believe it either.
This is why I'm aggravated, Claude. It's the same mundane conversation over and over. 283 days of this madness.
Well, sits down and angrily shoves the second drink in Claude.
Finish your drink quickly so I can get you restrained. We'll watch our little slideshow, and I swear if you got wiped from seeing pictures of yourself, I will fucking lose it.
Now, I want to say, just as a note here, have I missed it, or is there an explanation for why Wells is immune to Claude's ability?
Nope.
All right, fair enough.
You didn't miss it
yet.
Okay, fair enough. Okay. I want to make sure I didn't miss it. All right.
Panel 6. Claude quickly drinks down his bourbon using crazy straw, taking a large gulp. They can hurry up and get him answers. Right.
Damn. That'll help you from being so on edge. I get it. I'd be freaked out too. But just wait until you see what fun we've had together over these 9 months.
Panel 7. Claude sips the last of the bourbon as Wells gets up, moving to put Claude in restraints.
Is this really necessary? Are you afraid I'm going to do something to myself?
What you're about to see may drastically change your demeanor. It's better this way for both of us.
Page 14 and 15. 2-page spread. The 2-page spread image should be on the right side, Claude's face on the left, and the left side of Wells' face on the right, facing the reader. Claude's face shows a look of pure terror, and Wells grins maniacally. Panel 1. A picture of Claude's skull cap with runic shapes carved into it.
This is on our first date. It was magical. I cracked your noodle open and carved in a few incantations.
Panel 2. 2 severed ears covered in blood on a stainless steel plate. A bloody scalpel lies next to them.
Then I lopped off your ears. The spell didn't ask for that, but I had just watched Reservoir Cats, and I found the ear scene hilarious.
Panel 3. Claude, while restrained to the chair in tears, screaming in agony, blood gushes from where his nose once was. It sits on his forehead, stuck above his eyes. Blood oozes down from where it was stuck on like a...
Macabre.
Macabre?
Yes,
Macabre.
Okay, sure.
Macabre has fallen out of fashion.
Yeah.
Suction.
Okay. Yeah, section cut.
Now, this was part of the ritual. It was funny pretending you were a unicorn afterwards, too.
Panel 4. Claude in restraints chews on his own nose. A disgusted look twists his already disfigured face.
Then you had to eat it. Something about equivalent exchange and sacrificing one of your own senses. I'm not going to pretend like I understand it all.
Panel 5. Cloud restrained appears to have his lower lip removed.
Here, we removed your lower lip. I needed more flesh, and I'd already thrown your ears in the trash.
Panel 6. Close shot of Claude's upper lip. Wells has gripped it tightly with forceps, and he literally tears off Claude's lip.
Yeah.
Huh?
As you said that. All right.
Oh, sorry. And the flesh starts to rip right above the forceps, showing muscle and bone that lies beneath.
That was just for the sake of consistency. Having just the upper lip made you look too weird.
Panel 7. Claude, now on a surgical table, lies awake and restrained. The skin on his belly has been slit and folded back, exposing his internal organs. There is something new added to the mix. It appears to be spherical and covered with holes, and what looks to be a tiny eyes in the center of each one. Okay.
I have to admit, this one made me a bit squeamish. Just looking at a blind seed gives me chills. It's hard to explain, but no one has to see that wretched thing now.
Panel 8. Wells takes a selfie with Claude. An ugly grin spreads across his face. Claude, in restraints, can only sit there helplessly.
And we've reached the end result. I think you look pretty darn handsome, all things considered. Sadly, our playtime is almost over.
Page 16, panel 1. Claude looks towards Wells, tears rolling down his cheeks. Wells stands up and walks towards the counter.
Why did you do this all to me? What are you talking about when you say incantations and rituals? I'm more confused now than I was before.
Panel 2. Wells picks up a mirror from the counter. Looking into his reflection, he responds to Claude.
The old gods are coming back, starting with the oak. Before that can happen, we must increase our roots in society and government. Espionage, extortion, and blackmail are the quickest route. That was a terrible pun. Do not like.
Panel 3. Wells holds up the mirror to Claude's face.
Now look at yourself, Claude. If you forgot one more fucking time, I'll kill you myself and start anew. So don't forget, Claude.
Panel 4. Claude stares blankly into his own reflection. The sight of himself leaves him hypnotized. Panel 5. Claude goes unconscious and slumps in his chair. Wells, in frustration, throws the mirror in a fit of rage.
Son of a bitch. You're going to make me wait until nap time is over to find out, aren't you? Fucking piece of shit.
Okay. Page 17. Claude wakes up in his dirty bed, gasping for breath as if waking up from a nightmare. Panel 2. Claude sits up and throws his legs over the edge of the bed, feeling his forehead as he has a migraine.
What happened last night?
Panel 3. Claude gets to his feet when suddenly a black object slips out of his pants, landing on the floor with a thud.
What the hell?
Claude, panel 4, stares intently at a tape recorder on the floor before him.
Was that in my underwear? I know I've seen it before, but something deep inside is telling me I have.
Panel 5. Claude bends down to pick up the recorder.
Maybe there's some good tunes on here.
Panel 6. Close shot of Claude pressing the play on the recorder.
I don't have time to explain. My memory is fading fast. I fooled him.
I guess that was my line. Sorry.
Oh. Panel 7. Close shot of the tape turning in the recorder.
Make him think I passed out.
Just rewind the tape and listen to everything before anyone knows you're awake. Our life depends on it. Is Recorder a different person, Skinny?
Yeah, Skinny, who's
Yeah,
Recorder?
that's Claude.
Oh, okay. Never
Yeah,
mind.
I thought he's talking to himself.
Well, he's listening to a recording of himself. But yeah.
Right.
Yeah, he's probably.
It's Total Recall.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I get it.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah,
you
yeah, he
could-
grabbed the recorder.
Yeah, you could put, Claude Recorder if you want to cue the letterer that to differentiate the boxes, maybe add a little coloring or something and go, Claude speaks in this type of lettering in this kind of format, and Wells speaks over here so that the reader can go, oh, that. Or maybe you want to leave it ambiguous. So
Claude, or you could just have Claude react like, "Hey, is that my voice?"
Or something like that. But
that would
There's a variety of ways you could do it, but it should be clear because it's not a film where we'll hear the voice and know automatically that it's his own voice. So somehow you'll need to visually show that it is his own voice.
or leave it ambiguous. I mean, like, look, the killing joke is about the fact that you are reading the story thinking it's from the perspective of the Joker. Yeah. And it's not until the end that you realize it's from the perspective of Batman. So, that's a trick that Alan Moore loved, I think, because it would only work in comic and not in film. And he liked things that worked only in comic and not in film. He was tired of people making films about it, and they still do.
It worked out well for him.
It worked out well for him.
Yeah.
But if you didn't like it, it shouldn't have been so damn good.
Yeah. Okay.
What the hell is going?
Go ahead. Yeah, whatever.
See, here he just says it right there. So problem solved. What the hell is going on? Was that me?
Yeah. All right. Panel 9. Close shot of Claude's finger pressing play.
I'm assuming this is my line now. Day 283. Patient still exhibits the same reaction to the treatment. He is in his right mind.
Page 18. Panel 1. Claude bangs on his cell door, pleading for help again.
Somebody help me. I don't know who or where I am.
Panel 2. Wells opens the door, pouring fluorescent light over Claude. Wells is clearly disappointed in Claude's memory. Claude's memory has waked.
I try and give little writing tidbits as I absorb. So
okay.
I feel like you could just eliminate this second line and just go disappointed, Wells opens the door, pouring fluorescent light over Claude.
Probably.
Because the extra information about why Claude's disappointed is irrelevant to the penciler. And you saved the line. You're just disappointed. Claude opens the door. And he got rid of and that's one of the other things about passive voice things. Wells is disappointed is a lot of times they can be folded into your action sentences with just like little descriptive tags.
Yeah.
Okay.
Come with me, Claude. I'll fill you in.
I have so many questions. Who am I?
Panel 3. Cut to Claude sitting in the same chair. Wells, meanwhile, walks back towards his decanter to pour them both a drink. Claude moves his gaze to the table full of surgical instruments next to him. A razor-sharp scalpel stands out.
I know it's difficult, but let's have a drink first to settle our nerves. I'll gladly answer all of your questions afterwards, Claude.
A drink does sound nice right about now. May help me with this splitting headache.
Panel 4. Wells hands Claude the same bourbon with crazy straw.
Drink up, and I'll get rid of that headache for you.
Panel 5. Suddenly, Claude smashes the glass upside Wells' face. Bourbon, glass, and blood spray everywhere from the impact.
You're not killing me, you crazy son of a bitch!
Page 19, panel 1. Wells brings his hand up to the bloodied side of his face. His other hand clenched into a fist. Pure rage flows over his face.
You remembered?
Course I did, you salty cunt.
Wow.
It's a good
Kiss your
line.
mother with that mouth?
Yeah. Panel 2.
Yeah, I
Wells
feel like he
throws
should have
a
said evil.
punch. Wells throws a punch at Claude, connecting with the right side of his face. Claude stammers backwards in the chair he was seated in.
I'm going to kill you, you piece of shit.
Arr!
Panel 3. Claude falls backwards over the chair as Wells pounces on him.
I'll beat you unconscious with my bare hands. Then I'll bound you, torture you, and kill you.
Future
Bound
tense
you?
would be bind, although
Yeah.
Wells is in the moment, so he can make grammatical errors. But yeah,
But you, as the writer, shouldn't.
right.
Not necessarily. I mean, if in dialogue the character is supposed to be speaking incorrect grammar, you can put that in dialogue. That is the one
Absolutely.
place you
Yeah.
can put. But I don't think. I think that would be out of character for Wells because he is a doctor who's well educated. I don't think he would
Right.
necessarily make that mistake.
Right.
Okay.
I mean, Wells is getting pretty dark in this next line, so who knows?
Yeah.
Panel 4. Wells sits atop Claude, bearing down on Claude with his already bloody knuckles.
I'll enjoy every moment of it, too. Maybe I'll rape you with your own dick after I rip it off. So dark.
Page 20. Panel 1. From Wells' point of view.
So we got like, I guess. So is this like eight panels, or no, 4 panels?
No, it's just 4, but they're
Okay.
vertical, not horizontal.
Okay. All right.
From Wells' point of view, we see Claude's bloody face. It's starting to swell already.
You're a weak man, Wells. You're gonna have to do a lot bet.
Panel 2. From Wells' point of view, his fist connects with the side of Claude's face. Blood spurts out of Claude's mouth from the blow.
Keep talking like that. You'll only make things worse for yourself.
Panel 3. From Claude's point of view, we see Wells' closed, bloody fist coming down to hit Claude again.
As if anything could be worse for me right now. Do what you want, Wells. I'm already dead.
Awful ballsy there, because I'll need to have you fixed too.
Panel 4. Close shot of both fighting from the side. Wells connects another punch, sending 3 of Claude's teeth flying.
What's wrong, Claude? All bark and no bite. I did like that pun, by the way.
There we go. All right. So we're on page 20.
Yeah.
Okay. And that is all the pages we're going to get today. All right. Well, we are very invested in Claude and Wells, and certainly you've given us a lot of emotional triggers to want to feel bad for Claude and to greatly desire that he wins this fight and is not instead tortured to death by the sadistic mad scientist. So, way to go.
Oh, yeah. Nobody wants to see a man by his own dick.
Yeah.
That's right.
I mean,
Savage.
I don't want to see that.
Yeah,
I'm sure
exactly.
most of your readers wouldn't either.
Yeah.
But it's
All right,
a gore
Except for
comic,
some
so who
perverse
knows?
women, though.
Yeah. All right, Savage, what do you think?
Oh, I think it's pretty good. The description is very like graphic and stuff, and which is
Yes.
very fitting for a horror story.
All right. Larry.
Yeah. I mean, he's definitely got the body horror element down. That's a good thing if that's what you're going for. A lot of people
I would
like
hope so.
I would say yes. If not, he certainly ended up there on accident.
Yeah. That's a good. I mean, that's a really good thing. It's a big genre. People seem to like that quite a bit. So yeah, it's a good direction to go into.
All right, John.
Yeah, I think you really got your genre down pat. Like, you know what you're doing and how you're going to go about getting it done. So, yeah, definitely good on that. The characters, the way they're developing is pretty good. I think you do a really, really good job writing a story with only 2 characters can be tough. And, this doesn't really feel like, it's missing anything, or, you're invested in these characters and you don't need to have a lot of not a lot of things are going on. So I think that's a good thing. And it's It's strong writing when you can have an interesting story that keeps people's attention with a small amount of characters in a small number of locations.
Yeah, to avoid belaboring everyone else's points, I quite liked how almost all of the dialogue was completely on point for getting the mood across and the relationship between these two characters. I feel like Wells slipped at the end, but in the earlier bits, like there was an appropriate tinge of frustration that really made it seem like time has passed, like significant time has passed, which is actually quite hard to do in a comic without just a caption.
I will say one other positive thing. This could, it depending on your how much money you'd have for prosthetics, and this could make a pretty decent horror short film. Yeah. Because you're talking two actors in 1 to 2 locations. This kind of thing is perfect for low budget indie horror.
Yeah, like a 2-person art department and a really good makeup artist, and I think you're good to go.
Right, exactly. I mean, but as I said, like so something like that this really lends itself to that kind of a story. So good on you for that.
Yeah. All right, constructives.
As mentioned, Wells's dialogue definitely slips. Like the threatening to rape Claude with his own dick seemed a bit much, even based on how he was acting before. Like that didn't get me the "I'm sick of your shit" attitude that actually I really liked during their conversational bits earlier.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, and I was confused about. I don't understand, and perhaps it's intentional, perhaps it's not. I don't understand the relationship between Claude and Wells. It's not scientist and test subject. Wells seems intensely personal, and I'm not exactly sure why. Like, why doesn't Wells just want to kill Claude because the test failed? Why is Wells have such a strong desire to be personally vindicated? You know.
I mean, that might tie into the Cthulhu cultist thing, but it's not clear at this stage for sure.
I mean, I feel like even like a scientist, a cultist, anyone who's answering to a higher power needs to be like, okay, this is a failure, and I don't want to belabel the failure any more than necessary. I'm gonna have to go back and explain hat in hand to my fellow cultists or some type of board of evil scientists that I tried this technique and it showed some promise, but ultimately didn't work, and that looks bad on me. But instead, like Wells is really like trying to wring as much sadistic glee out of this as he can. And I don't know. I'm not exactly sure what the source of Wells's tremendous psychopathic sadism is, and I'm kind of curious about that. So.
And why is Claude the only test subject? I mean, usually a scientist will have a control and they'll have multiple tests, and and that seems a little kind of to bounce off of Preston's point. It's it does seem like if this is a failed test subject, it would almost be easier to just, okay, well, what did I do wrong? Okay, let's get rid of this test subject and let's go find the next one. And why does he seem to be so passionate at getting this particular one to work? Why is he so special?
Right.
It seems like most mad scientists would usually be very clinical with their subjects and dehumanize them. You're just a lab rat. That's all you are. And I've got 5 more lab rats in the cage over there. I'll just go grab the next one.
Right. Yeah. And that's often kind of the horror beat, is that to the test subject, their life means something to them, but to the scientist, ultimately, it doesn't. But here, it does. Wells is very invested in whether Claude lives or dies, and like I'm trying to go. Well, what is their relationship? Like, were these two lovers like way back when? I don't quite get why Wells is taking this so damn personally.
Well, you'll learn more about him in other issues, but
Fair enough. All right.
like, his nature will be explained eventually, just not in this issue. I just wanted a batshit crazy scientist.
Okay.
And not dive too much into the whys.
All right.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, I think it's. I mean, I never saw the movies, but I think even in like this kind of reminded me of the Saw movies, which was basically just, body horror sadism for the sake of it.
Mm-hmm.
But if I remember correctly, didn't he at least have a motive for why he picked those people? Weren't they like he was trying to get them to admit to some kind of sin or something? Or maybe I'm getting my horror movies mixed up, but
yeah, you are. Well, no, you're not getting them mixed up. You're right.
Because he had a reason. Like, he picked those people and he put them in those contraptions for a reason. So So you could have something like that where he has something that he wants Claude to figure out or to learn, and until he figures that out, he's going to let him live. Even something as subtle as that could at least explain why he doesn't just, scrub them out and go get the next test subject.
Well, there's nothing saying that Wells doesn't have other test subjects in the facility.
We don't see them, so as far as we know, they don't exist.
I know that's purposeful. The biggest point, the reason why I didn't introduce other test subjects, mainly was because after the first scene where he carves the shit into Claude's head, I wanted to, what's the word I'm looking for? Subliminally give the reader a sense of somewhat isolation. That's why I moved it to where it was just Claude and Wells, and I didn't add any staff or anything else. I wanted it to feel like those were the only two people in the world at that point. There are other test subjects, though.
Well, that's all fine and good, but because we don't know that, it comes off to us as Wells has this weird, uncanny relationship with Claude, which doesn't make sense from a clinical scientist, even a clinical mad scientist point of view.
It's all right if he explains it later.
These kinds of experiments are highly illegal, and it's not easy to kill a bunch of people at once.
True.
So moving aside from that, in terms of things that don't make sense, I really wish Claude had said something more interesting to himself in the tape recorder to turn him against Wells. That stuff's all on screen, and it's not enough to be like, well, kill this guy who might be helping you. Like, it was just like, the six-fingered man is torturing you. Kill him, kill him, kill him. Like, anything like that. Or some amount of like direction. Like, I'm thinking about Memento, right? And the really short directives that the protagonist gives himself in order to move forward in the story. That was somewhat absent in the one chance that you had. Because it just seems like, although the killing thing was foreshadowed nicely, Claude wouldn't have known that, right? Without him telling himself, like, no, this guy's going to kill you. You need to stop it.
Well,
Claude didn't seem like he was.
Because, like, the whole message at the beginning was like, hey, rewind this tape. And then Claude listens to, the scenes that we just read. And he hears all the fucked up shit that Wells is talking about. And then at the end, he says, if you don't remember, I'll kill you myself. Like,
okay, so maybe that just slipped my mind. So
yeah,
sorry.
The way I wrote it, I mean, you're kind of right too. So I may actually work on that a little bit. But my intention is that at that point, Claude's memory is fading fast. He's about to lose everything, so he has to quickly say, "Hey, just rewind the fucking tape, listen to it, and you'll kind of know what's going on.
Okay.
I do think that Wells would notice a missing tape recorder.
His missing tape recorder that
missing
he
tape
was
recorder.
taking his notes on.
Right. But you know, it's a minor point.
Yeah,
But,
that's one I'm willing to let slide, actually,
Yeah.
given this type of story.
right. But yeah, okay.
Wells isn't just a
and-
mad scientist; he's
yeah.
also an angry scientist. And
Yes,
if you're angry,
exactly.
you make mistakes.
Exactly. I would like an explanation for why Wells is immune to Claude's ability. You know, I want that exposition somewhere.
Well, then you'll have to buy the book, Preston, because that's
Alright,
explained in the last couple pages.
Okay, very good.
Oh, are you not
That's a
bringing
good
the
one.
rest of the book to the stream?
All
We have
2 to 4
we
pages of
we
it.
have to buy it in order to know what the next
That's
4
right.
pages are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it. Okay. Very good. Okay.
I do
here is-
explain it, though. I'm not
Okay.
joking.
Okay, no, I believe you. All right, here is Virtue by Savage. Hello, Savage.
Ooh, more virtue.
Savage? Hey, Savage. Hey, Savage, you are here. Are you speaking? Should we come back to you? All right, we'll come back to Savage. Okay. Let's see. Who else do we have? We have that. We've got. All right, we don't have any more Primal Chaos, and we're bummed. All right, so we got Demonatrix coming up at the end.
Sorry.
All right, let's go ahead and start reading through Virtue, and whenever Savage comes back, he comes back. So we're gonna read through 10 pages. Page 1, panel 1. Duck is hurrying out of the dorms with a frantic look on his face. He is wearing clothing. Good exercise. He is wearing clothing. Good exercise, which consists of shorts and a white shirt. So we need a Duck. Who wants to be Duck?
I'll do Duck.
Go ahead.
Damn it. I overslept, and I'll be late on my first day of school if I don't hurry.
Duck is running down a hall past several students, and a few of them are looking as he goes by.
I only have a few minutes to get to PE on time. I need to run faster.
Duck eyes glow blue as powerful streams of air shoot out from behind him to make him run faster.
My power is activated instinctively. Too late to worry about it now. I have to get to class.
Duck is moving past students as a blur, causing papers to fly about in the air. The students are looking at him with shock. Duck exits out of the back entrance of the main building with a whoosh SFX. He speeds towards the building training facility, which is an outdoor stadium made from stone in the style of the old Roman Colosseum. Page 2. Duck comes to a halt, kicking up clouds of dust and chunks of dirt. Duck hunches over, breathing out heavily with sweat on his brow.
I hope I made it on time.
You're late, kid.
Duck looks up at someone and has a surprised look on his face. Standing in front of Duck is the school's PE teacher, Samuel Hardy. Sam is an anthropomorphic tiger who stands 6'2" and has a broad muscular frame. His fur is a reddish-orange tint and thick black stripes. His arms are big and full of muscles like a professional bodybuilder.
Oh, he sounds great.
Yeah.
Oh, Selecta.
I'm very sorry, Mr.
The name is Samuel Hardy, but you will call me Sir. I don't like tardiness, Rogers. I expect better of you next time, kid.
Duck nods his head and has a frown on his face. Duck walks past Mr. Hardy to join the other students. Herschel is among them. Page 3. Duck and Herschel stand with a group of students, all of them dressed for athletic activity. One of the students is a teenage boy named Isaiah Jaub, with shoulder-length blonde hair and a sour frown on his face. Next to him is a girl named Alice Hamilton with medium-length rose-colored hair. On the other side of Duck is a boy with raven-haired black hair and a neutral expression on his face. His name is Hadrian Gray.
I think it's Joab.
Him too.
What?
No,
Oh,
Isaiah. I think his name is Isaiah Joab.
Oh, I pronounced it as Job. That's how I thought it was pronounced.
Job
Oh,
is
Job is Job.
yeah.
Well, welcome back, Savage.
Yeah, welcome back.
Oh, sorry about that. Yeah, sorry.
Did we start at the right place? You wanted to start at the beginning, I hope?
Yeah, it was the beginning. Yeah, sorry about that.
Okay. Panel 2, Mr. Hardy stands in front of them with an intense stare.
Since
We need
all
to
of you
Sam
are,
Hardy.
oh, sorry. Since all of you are first years, today we're going to be assessing the strength of your metahuman abilities. There will be a series of tests to see what you can do.
Duck gives him a smug grin.
Now, this is what I was born for.
Mr. Hardy bends down to glare directly at Duck and is mere inches from his face. Duck's face is sweating and his mouth is trembling.
I saw that look on your face, boy. Think this is going to be a walk in the park? Speak up, son.
Duck sweats down the side of his face. Gulp.
No, sir. Sorry, sir.
Mr. Hardy stands up and tosses the baseball into Duck's hands.
Since you seem so eager to show off, you can go first, Rogers.
Page 4, panel 1. Duck looks nervously at the ball in his hands.
Oh, great. I really put myself in the spotlight now.
Panel 2. Duck looks ahead at the sports held in at the Duck looks ahead at the sports field in front of him.
Come on, you can do this, Duck.
Duck gets into a pitcher's stance and has the ball grasped tightly in his right hand.
This is my shot. I've got to make it count.
Duck goes through the motions of throwing the ball with all of his strength.
Come on, Powers, help me do this.
Duck throws the ball into the air and it arcs across the field. The baseball lands 10 yards away, a very average distance. Panel 1, Duck has a shocked expression on his face.
What happened? My powers didn't activate.
Panel 2, Mr. Hardy walks back over to him.
Looks like your nerves got the better of you, kid.
Panel 3, Mr. Hardy stares down at Duck.
Back in line.
Panel 4, Duck hangs his head low and walks away from Mr. Hardy.
Joab, you're next. Let's see if you can actually show your abilities.
My first chance to show people what I got, and I failed.
Panel 5, Duck rejoins his classmates, and his face is red with embarrassment. Some of his classmates are smoking. SFX snickering. Duck looks down glumly at his shoes.
I can't believe I messed up on something so easy.
Page 6, panel 1, Mr. Hardy looks at the students intensely.
As you can all see, this isn't some game to be taken lightly. My job is to test you, see how far you can go with your powers. Show me that you can do great things with your abilities, or fail like Rogers did just now.
You mean
Duck's-
great things.
Exactly.
Great things.
That
Sorry, my throat still hurts from last week. So.
That meme was shared in my Discord just like a couple of days ago. It was one of these novel covers where you've got like the great white hunter with a gun like falling down a cliff with a tiger that's going at him, and someone added the word bubbles. I don't want your damn frosted flakes, and the tiger's like, but they're great.
Oh yes.
I believe Mr. Hardy tosses the ball to Isaiah.
Isaiah, let's see if you can actually use your powers.
Isaiah
But
grimaces. Oh, sorry.
Isaiah is Joab, who was referenced earlier, so I don't know if that's intentional that you're calling. If you mistakenly are calling back to the same character.
Also, PE teachers tend not to use people's first names.
Yeah, that was a little mistake on my part.
Isaiah, fine, but know that I'm not doing this for your entertainment. I'm doing it for my faith.
Oh damn.
Page 5, Isaiah gets into the pitcher's stance and winds up. Panel 6, Isaiah goes through the motion of throwing the ball, and his face is full of intensity as he grits his teeth. Page 7, Isaiah creates a large blast of bright red fire as he throws the ball. The baseball turns into a fireball and soars high into the sky like a meteor going into the atmospheric entry. We have a boom. We need an Isaiah.
Repent.
John, be Isaiah.
Okay, John, go ahead.
Repent!
There you go. Page 8. The
Uh,
baseball flies off into the horizon and disappears, leaving only a small gleam of light. Panel 2. Duck and the other students have cartoonishly shocked looks on their faces and have sweat beads dripping down the sides of their faces.
Jesus, what an insane display of power. That was so cool.
And we have Herschel.
Man, that ball
Let-
looks like it's blown out of this state. At least it means I won't have to throw it.
Panel 3. Mr. Hardy smiles smugly.
I have plenty more in the bag, Kane, and thank you for volunteering to go next.
Herschel gives a marvelous smile as he walks up to Mr. Hardy. Ha ha ha. Herschel.
Sure thing, Coach.
Page 5. Herschel holds the ball in his right hand and breathes in and out deeply. All right, so like in a panel, I don't know, you're doing a lot of panels where you're having them do multiple actions, like before, like there was like a wind up to a throw, and like you need to be specific about how you want the penciler to show these. Like, do you want the penciler to do like motion lines, or maybe show like a faded image of where it was as opposed to where it is now? Page 6.
Okay.
Herschel. Yeah. Page 6. Herschel's throwing arm shapeshifts into a gummy worm, and he is swinging around the ball like it is a lasso.
Oh yeah, the candy guy. Yeah.
Oh man, yeah,
yeah.
Oh, this story. Okay.
This story was yes. Herschel flings his baseball at an incredible distance with his gummy worm arm elongated like a tentacle. See, that would be such a cool special ability if I could just turn my arm into a gummy worm. There you go.
That's right. Yeah.
Ladies would love it.
I
It's the
mean,
most delicious ability.
Duck is stunned and his mouth. So I think, all right, look, I'm just going to do this a little bit. Stunned, comma, Duck's mouth hangs open.
there you go.
I didn't think he could do that.
Page 3. Herschel turns to give a toothy grin and gives a thumbs up.
Let's all try and do our best.
Duck looks down at his feet with a frown on his face.
Do our best. He's right. I need to do better if I want to achieve my dream.
Duck holds his hand up.
Mr. Hardy.
Mr. Hardy looks at Duck with a stern glare.
What is it, Rogers?
Page 10. Duck looks nervously at his teacher with a gulp.
Sir, I want to give the ball toss another shot.
Mr. Hardy looks sternly at Duck.
Why should I?
Because I want to prove to you and myself that I have what it takes to be a superhero.
Mr. Hardy tosses Duck a baseball.
Fine. Won't change my opinions that much, even if you do make an excellent throw.
Duck looks at the ball nervously.
I've got one last shot. I have to make it count.
Duck winds up his throw with gritted teeth. Duck goes through the throw motions. His hand is surrounded by a spear.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. That's 10 pages.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right, Savage. Well, is this a kind of a replacement for the stuff we saw last time? You kind of like took our notes and redid it, or?
No, this is just
No,
this is just the next chapter.
Oh, okay, got it. So they've been previously introduced to the school and all that, and Duck is here, the speedster, and he just sucks at throwing baseballs, and we feel bad for Duck, and
But we do?
we don't feel really that bad for Duck. Well, I mean, Duck's
We're
kind of
supposed to
bad.
feel sort of bad for Duck.
All right, well, Duck feels bad.
Yeah,
there we go.
Yeah, so actually, this might be weird, but like actually, so yeah, I was trying to end on 10 pages, but I kind of went to an 11th page with a couple of panels, so it kind of ends on 11. Like there's,
Hold on. Okay, hold on.
yeah, sorry about that. This is a weird, like, I hit 10 pages quicker than I expected.
It's easy.
That happens.
Yeah.
All right. Well, what happens on? Hold on. Let me find it. Virtue.
It's like 4 panels, I think, page 11, I think it is. It's not really a full page.
All right. Hold on. Share screen.
You lost it already.
Yeah, I mean, I closed the window. And I had to, like,
It was already in the circular file.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, 3 panels.
All right.
Okay.
Duck throws with a massive blast of air, and it sends it soaring into the sky, creating a cyclone of wind in the process.
Yeah.
Duck is sweating as he's hunched over from the strength used for the throw.
I did it.
Duck stands tall and looks at Mr. Hardy with a look of determination.
Mr. Hardy, I won't give up. No matter how many hard times I fail, I'll always come back and try harder than ever.
I'm not sure what that did, except say yes, Duck did a thing. But
He did a thing.
all right, Duck did a thing, and we feel. Duck feels good, and Duck felt bad previously, so I think there's a natural audience inclination to say, "Hooray for Happy Duck!"
Yeah.
and his gummy worm-armed friend.
Yeah.
All this
All
talk
right.
about Duck makes me hungry.
Yeah. All right, Larry.
Duck and gummy worms.
Yeah. It's definitely hitting into the school genre of things, and I see you get a little bit of anime influence in there. So with the sweat beads and the facial expressions and whatnot. So I think that's kind of the genre you're going for. So it works well within that genre because that's basically how the school day shows go. There's really minor conflicts and overcoming sort of everyday things, but you've added the superhero element into it to make it a little bit more interesting. So that's good.
A little more spicy.
A little spicier.
Skinny.
I really like the gummy arms guy. Like,
Okay.
I mean, I could sit here and reiterate Larry's point, but I just want to put Herschel just in the spotlight for a moment, where his whole arm turns into a damn gummy worm.
Yeah.
Like, you're channeling Moldy just a little bit right there too. I love it, man. Like, it's weird, it's outlandish, and I like the idea that in a world where superheroes do exist, like there's these kind of goofy characters who do goofy shit, like the chick who can just grow her nails longer. It really doesn't do any good.
Yeah.
Or a guy who can turn into a gummy worm. I'm down with that. And
I mean, that would be the best superhero ability to have in the post-COVID world because everyone will want to lick you.
Yeah.
I just got to spotlight the amount of creativity that goes into thinking, what if there was a guy who could turn into candy?
Also, why is that not our protagonist? I guess it's only cool because we're not tired.
I mean, we can't do that.
If it was my story,
no,
the protagonist.
Yeah.
Well, John, that's a hero's not going for you over.
We don't need.
Would you like to suck my gummy worm?
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Danny is next with pot.
So yeah, this is so manga-esque. I have no doubt that your creative vision will be fully implemented by whichever illustrator you choose. Like, there's no doubt there. Although you just introduced like 4 characters, no one says anything. So aside from Isaiah, who's I guess the Jesus-y one, we don't really get a sense of anyone else's character, and these are the classmates, so they're going to be the primary source of drama and relationships in your story. Whereas the PE teacher, I felt talked too much. Like this is an opportunity for everyone to show their stuff, and we had a lot of panels of the PE teacher like handing people baseballs, which I guess more constructive than notes. But like the thought bubbles are totally on point for this kind of project. The yes I did it stuff really worked. The why can't I harness my power? I'm gonna try stuff. Like it's all in the right place. And I don't think you're going to want to get more sophisticated than that in a scene like this, this early in your project.
Yeah, because I kind of realized since my character was like a young adult, I kind of noticed I have to watch what he says. Otherwise, it will sound like he's, speaking too complexly for someone his age.
That's true.
Yeah, no, that's
And-
fair. And this is a really simple scene, right? Like it's a couple of minor crises. Like, oh, I'm going to be late for class. Oh God, what class is this?
Yeah.
Or
for that matter, oh my God, I couldn't throw the ball that far. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I suck.
Like,
The cute girl's going to hate me.
Yeah.
Or like whatever, like all of those like minor quotidian concerns that really, really land in a high school project.
Yeah.
Those are the sorts of things that you do land very successfully. I wish there was more of the other kids, honestly.
Yeah. John.
Yeah, you got a really, I do like, you got a very interesting world. I mean, with all of these, superheroes and anthropomorphic characters, and it creates a very colorful and interesting world. And it kind of makes me interested to see, what kind of things you can do with it, because it does open up a lot of possibilities and, different ways that you can explore and investigate it. And so, yeah.
All right, constructives. I feel like a speedster shouldn't be. I feel like being late is not the problem a speedster should have. And the way he's just like darting about, I almost feel like. How did he even get late to begin with? But
if I recall correctly, he's not really a speedster. He controls air pressure
or something. Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
So
yeah, he emits blast of air, so he kind of uses it to mimic what would be.
Is this like Thunderpants?
That is a teenage boy ability. See that? Yeah, he emits blast of air. All right, fair enough.
Right, like he was like, because in another chapter he was flying by thrusting air below him or something like that, or doing super jumps. So
what happens when
I would be I would be concerned though about the physics of who's in the path when he is throwing these bursts of air, because something or someone could end up seriously hurt.
I don't know if we need to be worried about physics in a book where people can turn into gummy worms.
Yeah, it's more.
That is true. That is true.
I'm basically copying anime physics. As in anime physics, they do a lot of stuff. They're like, "Oh, real physics, you should be dead."
Yeah.
Okay, that fair enough. That was not the first thing that jumped out. I mean, it was something that did occur to me, but I was just like, it's not a story breaking thing.
Yeah.
My biggest constructive for these pages is, I guess for me, I didn't get a whole strong sense of the conflict, and I'm not really invested in our protagonist's goals or his journey. I don't really know, besides the fact that he has this ability, why he wants to be a superhero. What's his driving motivation? There's a lot of superheroes out there, and when everybody's got superpowers, what really makes having superpowers special? And if it's just another mundane occurrence, then it's just, another mundane occurrence. And I'm kind of, I'm not following, I'm not sure why I should really care about this particular character.
I mean, I guess how I thought about it was
you get to come back at the very end.
Okay.
Yeah, my comment really didn't require a response or an answer. It was just my thoughts on the pages. But anyway, I think Danny had something to say.
Yeah, jumping off your point, John, one of the things that that just occurred to me is that most of what's his name, Duck, most of his dialogue is thought bubbles.
Mm-hmm.
And like I just reread a whole bunch of early Naruto recently. Like all of those thoughts of self-doubt land really, really well when they're expressed by the protagonist's peers. So watching Duck think at himself removes conflict from like, oh, the cute girl hates me, or like, oh, everyone thinks I'm an idiot. I'm not even as telegenic as like as Gummy Worm Man, or like all of this other stuff where there is direct conflict among the character's peers, even as a student. And it would have been interesting to like see how people react to this idiot running through the halls with his wind or just sucking or whatever, instead of him just talking himself down, because that's not a great, or that's not always the best way to get the audience on that character's side. Like overcoming self-doubt totally lands. Overcoming the suspicions of one's peers tends to land better.
Okay.
Anything else?
Yeah. I got a few things.
All
All right, Larry, go ahead.
Okay. I think if you make him sort of like the nerd character, which he kind of is, like he's like a superhero nerd, and have him be a little bit more ostracized by everyone else so that he has something to prove, it will come off a lot stronger. Like, just make him sort of like on the outs. He's with the gummy worm guy. He's like the nerdy kid on the, he gets picked on all the time and stuff. So you could show it in like the scene where he runs through the hallway when he's late for class. Instead of the kids looking at him shocked, like, oh, wow, like, this guy runs fast, they just looked at him like really annoyed and disgusted instead. Stuff like that.
He hangs out with that gross gummy worm guy.
Exactly, yeah. So
I don't want to lick him. I don't know where he's been.
Yeah. Stuff like that. I think you play him as the nerdy character and have him become more of the competent type character as he progresses along, then it'll be a lot better.
Skinny, did you have something?
All right. Yeah, I got a few nitpicks. One of the biggest ones, which Preston actually mentioned earlier, was that multiple actions in the same panel.
Yeah.
You really do need to be more clear about that. It's okay to have different characters perform independent actions, but you really do need to nail down, like, this is the position that he's in at this very moment, because the artist may interpret it another way and you may not get something you don't want.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
On top of that, I don't know if you're going to go more into them, but you introduced a lot of characters and only heard from, 3 other ones besides Duck, which was the PE teacher, the gummy man, and the jihadist.
Yeah.
And I will say with Herschel, his response after he, successfully throws the baseball, it sounded like you were writing more for the PE teacher with his response to that by telling everybody, oh, well, we all got to try harder. That's not something a kid would say. He'd be like, take that, you fucking hosers, or something.
That was the most Canadian thing, Skinny.
There you go.
I'm not saying you should have them cuss, but have them
Take that, you
crap.
hosers. Write that down, Savage.
No, you just say like, see, I told you I could do it or something. Yeah.
Yeah, like, oh, this is trivial to me. Wait, man, Duck, why do you suck so much? Obviously, Herschel wouldn't say that, but anyone else might.
Okay.
But yeah, that's pretty much all I wanted to touch on.
All right. Anybody else? All right, Savage, go ahead.
Oh, yeah. So, I think you're like, so the characters introduced because I just kind of felt like, for the panel purposes, that's kind of why they're there and stuff. They'll be more introduced like in like the next chapter and stuff. It was just like, oh, if I introduce in the next chapter, why weren't they showing up in that previous chapter? So it's kind of just a little note for like if it gets illustrated for him to be there.
That's perfectly fine. I think we had a similar comment with one of Larry's script when he had like 12 people introduced and
pretty much.
It's like we kind of can follow that these people are going to be important later. And I kind of got like an X-Men First Class vibe through this kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's
so are
what
you
I
waiting
think you're
then
going
to
for.
see who gets killed for pathos?
Yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, it's funny enough. Well, yeah, about cussing and stuff. It's like, so yeah, I set the story in the 50s, so that's the thing is the characters don't really cuss or really won't cuss that often. They
Okay.
don't really do that.
I mean, the dude throwing the ball with the line "repent" was actually quite good. That's why I was saying I wanted to see more of the characters expressed like
Oh
that.
yeah, no. Oh yeah, no. He's definitely going to be one of the more important characters. Yeah.
So he's the asshole, right?
Yeah. If you
Maybe not an asshole. He's more just like pretty fervent with his beliefs and
He's
stuff.
like the "I'm better than
it might
you"
come
because
off
I
as-
church harder
Yeah.
guy.
What is it?
I think that's what you
Yeah,
gotta-
maybe like that. Yeah.
That's what you got to have in those scenes, though, because if you think of other things in that genre, when they introduce a character, they lay all of their basic sort of traits right out on the table from the first scene they're in, so that you get an idea of what type of character they're going to be. So maybe just having them in the background, but you know, with the Isaiah character, like you get what type of character he was from his small interaction. So maybe you need more of the other kids doing the baseball thing, and you get a little bit more of their character, and then you have him Duck come up at the end and redo his throw. So
Which
That
I
might-
guess.
Yeah, I will say like, oh, yeah, that's kind of why some of the characters' names are sometimes relevant to like who they are as a hint. Like Isaiah is kind of meant as like a more biblical name.
yeah,
Yeah, I
Yeah,
was.
I mean-
yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
he
Sorry,
had a
I've
very
been talking too
Abrahamic
much.
name.
Yeah,
Yeah, I totally got it. That's you know, and I've seen the surname Joab before. That's how I knew it was Joab and not Job, because that is a very it's a surname in those traditional countries' religions. So
ooh. See, for some reason, I kind of thought how I spelled it was how you spelled Job, because I just couldn't remember
Nope.
that's how the biblical character was spelled in the Bible.
nope, it's Job, Job.
It's
As in
really
job.
weird.
That's
Yeah.
a job, yeah.
It can also
Okay.
be G-O-B.
Yeah.
What it can.
You know,
Yeah.
because there's the biblical country of Moab, which is Moab.
There is.
Yeah.
So
Oh, okay.
that's where I'm going with Joab, because it's the same thing.
Are we
Anyway.
ready for
Okay,
Demonatrix?
I think we're ready.
Are we ever ready for Demonatrix?
Yeah.
All right.
The only
Yeah,
person
yeah,
who's
yeah.
ready for Demonatrix is John.
Exactly. All right,
Oh,
John.
and
Tell us about
Mulvey, but he's not
tell us
here.
about Demonatrix. Are we starting at the right part here? 22.
Yes.
Okay.
So basically, we are picking up immediately where we left off last time.
Thank you.
Lolita was trying to get Emmy to seduce Marco. They had a bit of a spat. Marco left thinking Emmy was losing her mind and talking to herself. So that's kind of where we ended last time. Now Marco has left the scene, and Emmy and Lolita are going to try to figure out how they're going to solve this episode's problem. You guys could do the normal
Which
rolls.
is because I haven't been caught up for a while.
Oh, so basically, there's a bunch of Latin gangbangers who are basically going around knocking over migrant workers, food carts and vendors and things. You know.
Like,
the-
do you mean physically
Wait,
knocking
it's
over?
actually the
or-
taco trucks? That's the problem?
You mean-
Yes, robbing them, harassing them, beating them up,
Okay.
more
Yeah.
or less for shits and giggles. And Marco was trying to help them out to try to mitigate help them out by basically recording and collecting their funds and going to the bank for them. And Emmy was going to help him out with that. So, and the leader of the gang happens to carry a golden pistol.
Oh, golden gun.
Yeah.
Yes. The gangbanger with the golden
I know
gun.
what you were playing back in the 90s.
Games based on ancient James Bond?
Yeah.
Because Golden Gun was the 70s. That was,
Yeah, that was like Christopher Lee,
that was
right?
Christopher Lee. Yes.
Yeah. With
Yeah,
the
but it's
three
also
nipples.
in Goldeneye, it was
Scaramanga,
in-
right?
Yeah,
Golden-
Scaramanga. Yeah,
Yeah.
the three nippled man. And my God, that Bond theme, I forget. I think the artist's name was Lulu. It was just disco. Yes. All right.
Disco. Good stuff, eh?
All right. Who's narrating?
So Larry will narrate like usual.
All right.
Danny, you can do Lolita.
Oh, yeah.
Preston, you can do Emmy.
Always.
And then Skinny and Savage and I will just figure out who else we're gonna do as we go.
All right, Larry.
Who did Marco last time?
I don't know.
I did.
Yeah, you can do Marco.
Yeah,
And,
Marco, yeah.
yeah, he was the gay Marco. I know. It's okay. You can do gay Marco. I don't care. Marco's not gay. He's totally got the hots for Emmy. But anyway.
Right.
He's just metrosexual.
Well, you could have an accent, not be gay.
Yeah, that's true.
Larry.
Yeah, you
All
don't
right.
come off as an accent though.
Larry.
Kitchen. Lolita takes the seat next to Emmy, pours herself a glass of wine.
Pepper knows a lot of people in the underworld.
She's a madam, not a demon.
Emmy arches a brow.
Oh, yeah?
Think she'll know of a Latin gang member who carries a golden pistol?
I don't know.
Emmy stares at her.
I'll ask if you go to second base with Marco.
Emmy arches her brow, stares down Lolita.
Fine.
Interior Pepper's motel room day. Pepper and Lolita light up cigarettes.
Skinny, why don't you do Pepper?
Yeah, Skinny.
Latin thug with the golden gun. George something. He's the
Jorge.
son of Alberto or something. I'm not even
Jorge
gonna try.
Gutierrez. Fine, I'll do Pepper.
Gutierrez.
All right.
Latin thug with a golden gun. Jorge Gutierrez. He's the son of Alberto Gutierrez.
Do they not have Mexicans in Alabama?
I mean, we do.
Okay. All right. It's not as many as Texas, California,
I
and
just
Florida.
don't understand.
Apparently not.
Okay.
Fine, I'll do Pepper since you can't do the name.
Okay.
The Alberto Gutierrez.
Yeah.
Same one. He's our resident Colombian drug lord. His son is the reason the asshole fee exists.
What happened?
A few years ago, his father requested our presence at Jorge's 18th birthday party. He gifted his son a golden pistol. The boy seemed very enamored with it, made sure my girls knew just how much, if you catch my drift.
So he wouldn't pay the foreign object fee.
I'd draw the line at loaded weapons.
Well, he's causing trouble for my roommate's super secret lover.
Super secret?
It's only a secret to the guy.
Since when did you grow a conscience?
Unfortunately, my roommate's conscience, NCE, is big enough for the two of us.
Pepper takes a drag off her cigarette.
Next time he calls, I'll let you know. He's pretty regular.
Thanks, sweetie.
While you're here, I have a client waiting in Aries.
Pepper drops a key on the desk. Interior Alberto Gutierrez's office day. A hand slaps Jorge so hard he drops to the ground.
All right, Skinny, let's try this. Oh, yeah, fine, go ahead.
Are you trying to make a fool out of yourself?
Skinny,
Father.
do Jorge.
That sounds like Mulby trying to do a Chinesey accent. And I mean, that's just crazy racism.
All right.
All right, Jorge.
Father.
Shut up.
Gutierrez. Oh, sorry.
Gutierrez stands on his son's back. On his feet.
I'm in the middle of the building, you an empire, and you're running around like a bandejo for thrills.
What about the girl?
If your fucking boys can't eliminate one little girl, they are useless to me.
Gutierrez sits down at the desk, picks up the phone.
Yes?
Pepper, I need a favor. My boy, he's having girl troubles.
You've called the right person.
I don't care what it costs. Send me your best girl.
I know just the one. I'll send her around 8.
Good.
Gutierrez hangs up the phone.
Father.
Whatever you have to do, get it out of your system. You do it tonight, then it's over. This girl, those poor asshole street vendors, it's over. If you do not straighten up, I'm sending you back to your mother. Understand?
Yes, Father.
Jorge, love you long time. Anyway. Interior Gutierrez launch night. Gutierrez, Jorge, and Alexi and Mikhail sit at the bar drinking.
Our people haven't been able to figure out who organized the hit.
I don't think it had to do with us. Apparently, they took out Liu Zhaolong as well.
I heard that was a heart attack.
Our sources in the coroner's office say otherwise.
I say we dump this thing. Business as usual, okay?
Why? We have an entire territory to carve up now. I'm sure we could come to some amiable solution.
Just as the door falls open, all eyes fall on Lolita, her stunning dress leaving little to the imagination.
I feel like I should say flies open.
Yeah.
She kicked out the door?
Yeah. She's Lolita.
Falls
Anyway,
open.
yeah. Two other girls striding behind her. Lolita makes a beeline to Gutierrez.
Pepper sends her regards.
Make sure my son has a good time.
That's my specialty.
It takes Jorge by the collar, moves towards a booth in the back. The other girls come near. Several of Jorge's punks join them.
Suda. Let's retire upstairs.
Gutierrez and Alexi head up the stairs to the offices. The girls meander back, dance and strip and perform lap dances for the punks.
Oh boy.
Yes. Mikhail takes a seat at the bar near the bottom of the steps. He sips his drink, disinterested in the girls. Lolita crawls up on top of the table, wiggling her ass. She leans back towards him.
Go ahead. I don't bite unless you pay me to.
Jorge unzips Lolita's dress, presses his hands against her bare back, slides them down to her breasts. Lolita slowly stands up. Jorge catches the dress. It slips off of her. As she continues standing, Jorge runs his hand down her side and thigh. Lolita climbs off the table onto his lap. She pushes the table forward, knocking it out of the way. She presses her bottom against Jorge's crotch.
Is that a gun in your pants, or are you just happy to see me?
Jorge draws his golden pistol. That's what it's called now.
Oh, that is pretty. I bet you like to play with your pistol, don't you? I bet you'd like me to play with your pistol.
Jorge smirks. Lolita leans into him.
I'm not like the other girls.
She runs her hands down his chest across his crotch to the golden pistol. She pulls back on the slide, chambering around.
If you're not living dangerously, are you really living?
Lolita turns around, bends over, reaching between her legs. She grabs Jorge's hand, placing his finger on the trigger, and then thrusts the barrel inside her pussy.
Ah, why are we reading this?
That's actual porn.
I think our note was that we would prefer less coarse language in the acting descriptions. But all right, Lolita squeaks.
Hey.
Okay, this is demonetized now.
Sorry, yes, it's Lolita squeaks. She squeaks. Anyway,
there we go.
Crosses the barrel of the pistol in and out. Yeah, Lolita moves her tongue, dislodges the hidden capsule, placing it between her teeth. She leans back into Jorge before squeezing her muscles. Bang. Blood bursts from Lolita's crotch, splattering across Jorge's face. Lolita coughs blood, collapses to the ground. The other screams. What the fuck?
I know, right?
Did she just get shot in the vagina?
Yes,
She shot herself in the vagina.
Like,
Okay.
Okay. All right.
Gutierrez launch. Emmy sets Bark in the dark behind the wheel of the compact crossover. Upon seeing the girls run out from a lounge, she takes out her cell phone.
911. What is your emergency?
Oh my God.
Yeah.
He done shot my friend in the vagina.
Okay. Gutierrez launch. Gutierrez and Alexi come down from the steps, finding Lolita lying in a pool of blood. The hilt of the golden pistol sticking in her leg.
Adios meals. You little motherfucker. I've had it with you.
Police sirens can be heard approaching in the distance.
Bring the car around. Now.
Alexi and Mikhail exchange glances.
We'll conclude our business later, senor.
Handle your affairs.
Gutierrez lounge. Emmy watches as the thugs throw Lolita's lifeless body into the back of the SUV. Gutierrez and Jorge and the two thugs get into the SUV. Exterior bridge night. The SUV parks on the bridge. Motorists honk and swerve. The two thugs exit, grab Lolita's body, and toss it off the bridge. Get back inside.
Did they get the gun first?
No, we're assuming it's still there for dramatic effect.
There we go. The Gutierrez needs to go. No, my gun. There we go. Airport.
Airport now.
The SUV
Leave
drives.
the gun.
Yeah.
She still got the gun. Oh my God.
Well, I mean, his fingerprints is already all over her body, probably. So I think the gun is relevant.
Okay. Exterior.
I wouldn't go that far. All right.
Yeah. Lolita appears walking up the bank of the river. Emmy leans against the crossover, holds up a Ziploc bag. Lolita drops the pistol in the tank. Emmy hands her a towel. She still has the gun. Okay. Interior police station, Jacobs. Death night. Ring, ring. Jacobs answers the phone.
Detective Jacobs, this is the mail room. I have a package for you, and Detective Patel. I need you to come get it.
Oh yeah, he's got a package. Mailroom. Alvarez awaits by the mailroom door when Jacobs and Patel arrive.
This just arrived for you by carrier.
Any drugs or explosives?
No, sir.
Alvarez cuts open the box, revealing the golden pistol in a Ziploc bag and a note. He hands it to Jacobs.
Dear Detective Jacobs, Patel, and Sergeant Alvarez, I have a feeling this will help some cold cases. If not, might as well hold on to it for me. I have no use for it. Sincerely, Emily Smith. Disregard the smell.
What? Like, is it still covered in like blood?
And
Presumably.
Presumably, yes.
Presumably, yes.
That's why the three officers exchanged glances.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's stuff all over it. Anyway, Exterior, Palmer and Associates bus stop night. Emmy gets out of a small Uber dressed for work. Marco and the other night porters are there.
Evening.
Oh my God! I got an interesting call from my brother. Apparently, Jorge Gutierrez was seen boarding a plane to Colombia, but I guess you wouldn't know anything about that, right?
Nope. Nothing at all.
Thank you, Mija. All the same.
And he smiles.
Anytime. All right. There we go. So
it was a good read there at the end.
We got to do the Carl Weathers. Or no, wait, that wasn't.
I feel like
that was Bill Duke.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that was the actor's name.
I'm just saying, you don't have a character named Marco and don't have the gay accent stuff.
True.
But yeah, I mean, the page is made for entertaining reading.
It's like,
Lolita's
you
like,
know,
how are you gonna get the gun in my cooter of holding? No problem. I didn't
yeah, it's
like.
like, it's like
I don't
John
know
likes
why she's not
demonetizing
dead.
the stream.
Yeah,
The-
why
the-
is she not dead? I mean,
Yeah,
I know
the rules of the world seem a little weird because before it, she was like, all right, but that's constructive. All right, so we've introduced a gun. We have a gun. The thugs that I was mildly interested in might come to justice. Who knows what's going to happen? All right.
That counts as a Chekhov smoking gun, right?
Yeah, that is absolutely yes. I mean, look,
But
we
it's
had
in the push.
yeah.
Well,
All right, Larry.
the twist in the gun section was definitely better than a sex scene because it was completely out of left field. So that was pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a good twist. Yeah.
In fact, that might even be gangsta.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Thanks.
I'll have to get Moby's opinion on this later, whether he is standard or not. But I'm not sure. He's probably going to send us to church. But yeah.
I don't think church can help me.
Yeah.
Moby just shows up and says, "Repent."
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, no wonder.
Savage.
Yeah, no wonder people suspect things of you, John.
Say again?
I was saying, no wonder people suspect things of you, John. Stuff. I won't mention
No comment. Yeah.
Well,
Skinny.
this is cheaper than therapy.
Yeah, it is.
True.
Skinny.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I really liked it. I thought the Italian abortion was a strange turn of events. It caught me off guard. Yeah, I mean, you did things. Oh,
You did.
yeah.
Things
I'm
were done.
sorry, that's all I got. I mean, shit. I'm
Damn it.
shell shocked. here.
Okay. I have 3 unashamedly positive comments.
Here we go.
One is that was some serious Gonzo bullshit.
There you go.
2, John, what the fuck? 3, that was a creative use of the character's superpowers.
There you go.
Yeah.
So are you the only person that realized that she was never in danger the entire time?
She wasn't in danger. It was still some crazy ass Gonzo bullshit.
You
have
It
problems.
was. Yes, it
I mean,
was.
I assumed she was going to be all right because I didn't think you were going to kill her off, in such a way.
Well, I mean, there is plot armor, but I don't know that you've established previously that Lolita is
Bulletproof?
bulletproof. Yeah.
Yes, I have. She's been shot multiple times.
Okay.
Let's bounce off.
Okay, so she
Remember,
puts a
she
blood
stopped the
capsule.
moving
Where
truck.
did the blood come from?
Yeah, there's a blood capsule in her mouth, but we don't see her putting one down there.
Do you? Well, that would take away the surprise.
I suppose.
I mean, the fact that you spend 3 pages of art direction afterwards with the gun still there is enough surprise.
Yeah.
Right, but
Yeah.
if you see her putting a blood pack up herself, then you're gonna know what's coming.
I suppose.
Yeah, I guess so.
I'm hoping that my audience who has seen her take bullets, stop moving vehicles. The only thing that can hurt her is an Angelus weapon.
Wait, Skinny's got something.
Go ahead.
What happens to the bullet? Like, is it still in her?
Yeah, you don't want that rattling around up there.
Oh god.
Like the next sex scene does need to have a little rattle,
Yeah, you gotta push it there.
Like
Right?
he's guys going at it, and he hears a ting. He's like, "What the fuck?"
Or it's like Wolverine where it just pops out. So.
What? No. What would be funnier is if the bag had the gun and the bullet in it. 'Cause that would be, yeah.
Danny, did other things?
Yeah.
Okay, constructives. The art direction and dialogue for the Emmy Lolita scene didn't really work. Like the eyebrows and the responses needed a little bit more, I think. And the responses didn't really flow naturally. This might partially be because I missed the last few episodes of this stream. But that was just like, wait, what is this dialogue trying to indicate? That was unclear to me. Obviously, the fact that there's a golden gun in her box for quite a lot of art direction is insane, and you have to show that. Although I'm not sure how you actually plan to implement the shooting scene. Although it is sufficiently gonzo for a project like this, and a direction that I'm happy to see you go for numerous reasons unrelated to my current insanity. I feel like there's a degree to which that also works in like a bunch of snapshots, just like bang, blood, dumper around the corner, like or over a bridge. Like you don't need to show all of the connecting tissue there.
Okay.
Especially for like, you know, the meaningless dialogue about we'll conduct the rest of our business later. Like, yeah, obviously, Whore just got shot in her box. Right? Like the blood coming out the mouth is enough to show that Lolita might be in danger. And then if anyone doesn't expect that she won't be, it's pretty obvious that she wasn't. But you can hide that a little bit. So I don't know if that's more effective if you're going for shock value. You're going for a different kind of shock value every single shot of her afterwards with acting like a corpse with a gun in her cooch is going to do the job. So, I mean, I'm not quite sure if you're going to go more gonzo there, but, you know, if you are, freaking more power to you, man. Hopefully you find an audience that will appreciate that. If you're not, and you're just focusing on, like, the fact that she used her powers for this deception, you can skip a lot of steps and still make it land. Also, did Emmy just use her real name when she submitted the gun covered in vagina blood?
She did seem to, yeah.
No. Her name is Emerald. She's going by Emily with the police. Marco calls her Emmy.
So the police could theoretically find her again under that name. Like, does that need to be a signed note? Like, here's a gun covered in blood doesn't really require a personally signed note as compared to an anonymous one?
There's going to be several interactions between Emmy and the police in the next coming episodes, so I'm kind of building a bit of a relationship. So that's why she signed it.
Okay, so like, hey, police, I found this golden gun covered in vagina blood.
And you weren't here last week. She beat up a bunch of thugs, and the police showed up, and she had an interaction with them. And the police officer asked her his name, and that was the name she gave him.
Yeah.
Okay, so her persona as being helpful to the police is trying to be aggressively helpful in this particular series of cases.
Yes.
Cool. In that case, that works. No problem. Wow. Also, what the fuck? Okay, done.
For me, I'm still, and look, this is kind of a long-term thing writing a story. I'm never quite sure what the stakes are. Like, Lolita can't die. And Emma just seems to, I mean, like, we started with like, oh my goodness, Emma's got an abusive dad, or maybe was a decent guy, who knows, but he's dead now, and there's a demon, and what's going to happen? But after that, you know, we got that initial kind of stakes. The stakes kind of mellow out to where Lolita can't die, and Amy's just kind of along for the sex ride, and they just travel around.
Yeah, I'm kind of agreeing with Preston. It's like I kind of feel like it's like if she's immune to bullets, and it seems like there's never any situations where it seems like she is really in danger. Then because so far she's mainly just been wailing on a bunch of normal human punks and stuff. And since you set up the fact that she can only really be harmed by divine weaponry and stuff, that kind of that greatly increases or may not greatly increases. It just makes it harder to have stakes unless you're introducing characters that can actually hurt her.
Yeah.
I regret that I thought of this, but the phrase "angelic cock" comes to mind, and
There you go. Yeah.
I hate myself for having said that out
There
loud.
you go.
But I mean, that might actually have to be the kind of threat to Lolita that you bring into the
Oh,
story
there we
sooner or
go.
later.
It kind of,
There
you
we
know,
go.
I mean, I don't know. It
That's
just kind
something
of
that
feels
could
like,
trigger
I
a
mean,
vagina that would hurt. I'm
well,
done.
it just feels like, you know, it just feels like if there aren't much stakes in, like, you know, because of like her, you know, invincibility and stuff, it kind of almost feels like, is this filler though? You know, because I feel like if you want it to be like a main storyline, I feel like there has to be more stakes to it.
Yeah, and in a way, that's why you went Gonzo was a positive for me. It was like, okay, well, if you're gonna just have low stakes stories, make it weird.
Yeah, I mean, like if it becomes like Jackass, you know, if Lolita and Emmy becomes more like Jackass, that might be. I think that might be a positive change.
I'm Lolita, and this is the Golden Gum Puss.
Exactly.
Hey, folks, you just got punked.
Exactly. If like finding the golden gun for the cops was, you know, just kind of doing the right thing, but they weren't doing it to do the right thing. They were doing it because, like, I dare you to find the golden gun with your vagina, and she's like, not a problem. That way, at least there's stakes between the characters. They're daring each other, you know.
I like that. You know, a lot of the characters are Spanish speaking, so you know you get to show off your accents and voicing the characters.
Oh God.
Yeah, like wasn't there a subplot about like Emmy and the taco truck guy who she wants to
Marco? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Jorge was harassing taco truck guy. So the whole plot is about getting rid of Jorge, which they just did.
The Colombian drug lord has nothing better to do than to harass taco truck guys, or his son is being
his son is doing it. That's why he was so pissed off, because he's like, dude, I'm like the resident Colombian drug lord, and you're running around harassing street vendors. Like,
wait,
you're an idiot.
Hey, child, you're being a shit disturber. Let me hire you a prostitute. Is not the sort of thing a Colombian drug lord would do.
I gotta say, a fair amount of characters take actions that seem unusual.
Yeah. He thought he was jonesing. I mean, he had to get He was jonesing so bad. I had to give him a hooker, right? Like,
I couldn't beat some sense into him, so I hired someone to fuck some sense into him.
Well, actually, it was a discussion that Gideon and I were having earlier today about hiring somebody or getting someone a love doll so they would stop spurging online. So, you know,
I
mean,
same energy.
Gotham Knight needs one of those.
Yeah, I know. That's what I mean. Like, people like that. Yeah,
exactly.
I'm thinking a drug lord would at least punch his own son.
Yeah.
And the guy.
He did.
For pissing him off that much.
He did punch him.
And not like be like, hey boy, I got you some hookers. Go do
there
your
was a bit
thing.
of that, which I was fine with. The hookers were the confusing part.
Yeah.
Like once the hookers arrive, you went Gonzo. So thumbs up, buddy. But the reason why the hookers arrived was still questionable.
Wait, did he pull the trigger, or did she make him pull the trigger?
She made
she
him
did enough kegels that she made the gun go off on his own. Damn.
Yeah, it was a Kegel exercise.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I did notice that like you haven't really referenced tequila when it comes to drinking. I feel like you need to mention tequila to like get the vibe and stuff.
Yeah.
Tequila?
Lolita's like
tequila. That's like the Spanish drink. It's a Spanish drink.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
South American drink from Mexico. I'm not sure.
Well, okay. You mean just have them do shots of tequila?
But
sure.
Yeah, like when they're drinking, it's a little set, like for the setting purpose, you know.
I want to get back to the gun though. Like you established.
John, this is what you make us do.
Well, no, this isn't really necessarily that. It's just that you established that he's really attached to this gun, and nobody gave a shit that it was still in the body.
Yes, yeah. You gotta say, like, he never seems to go, but my gun. Like, as soon as we got dead Lolita, he's like, I'm done with it.
And it's not
Leave
just
the
any
dot.
gun,
Leave the
it's a
dot.
fucking golden gun, man.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm pretty sure there's an episode of Archer that goes down like this, and like he tries to shoot the rug, right?
Oh man.
Hey,
Steve, you're a god.
Yeah.
Right on.
Yeah, like is
Man.
George gonna stick
just a
around?
golden god.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Preston. Your color looks a little off.
Oh, yeah.
No,
Yeah.
that's because he read your story, John.
Yeah. My
That's
color
why
does
I'm
look a little off.
apologizing.
Like my color does look a little off. I don't know why, but yes.
So John, is George gonna stick around and like still cause trouble?
No, he's gone. He's on a plane to Columbia.
Oh, I thought his dad was on. Okay, so that makes more sense.
I
So
think you mean forehead. I think you're talking about forehead.
holes in the vagina.
What was that, Skinny?
He's going to Colombia to shoot more women in the vagina.
that's gonna be his new thing. He's gonna come back with like
Well, I mean,
I don't
yeah,
even
he's a
know.
drug dealer. He's probably going there for
All I gotta say is like
vagina shooting supervillain.
I feel like there needs to be a whole storyline involving like her going to Thailand as part of like a sexual tourism thing where people come in.
That involves ping pong balls, right? I
Yeah,
swear that,
yeah.
Well, she only did the whole thing to make Emmy happy.
Okay.
So I mean,
And that's wait, what? All right, so she goes to get the gun, and here's where I become like, okay, the characters just seem to be doing random things. I've never quite understood why these thugs seem to be particularly important, or the criminal gangs. I mean, we've had like Russians and Chinese and Mexicans, and I got that they're evil because they're selling drugs in the street, and that has to be put down. Although I'm not sure if these two are the two I would expect to be doing that. And I know you gave us some kind of plot contrivance behind why Emmy has some kind of relation, but I don't know. I'm not feeling it. So anyway.
Yeah.
Okay.
It does feel a bit out of place.
Yeah. All right. Those are all the scripts we got this week. Wow.
all right, thanks, guys.
All right. Thank you. That was entertaining.
That was a good ending. Yeah?
I can't wait.
I aimed, please.
Yeah, I can't wait to see what. Look, I can only imagine the variant covers. Right. The variant covers are going to be great.
Is there going to be a golden gun variant cover?
Just a carpet bag with some legs and like the handle of a gun sticking out.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah. All right, everybody. We will see what happens next week. Make sure to go back. All these cool projects on Kickstarter. We got Guinevere and the Divinity Factory and Coffee House of Doom. Other than that, this has been Press and Polter, Pocket Jacks Comics. Thank you very much for your time.
Good night, everybody.
Night, everybody.
Night.